Dish Nation.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dish Nation.
Hey.
What's up? All right, y'all, this is a great new film out there in theaters right now, directed by the one and only Clint Eastwood, and it's called Richard Jewell. Now, this movie is based on a true story that actually happened right here in Atlanta, not too far from where we're sitting right now. It was about when a security guard saved thousands of lives from an exploding bomb at the 1996 Olympics, but was actually falsely accused of being a terrorist. Nervous some people. Now, it's a really fascinating story, and I got to go to the Atlanta premiere of the movie Richard Jewell and talk to the legendary Clint Eastwood and the amazing Kathy Bates, who gave me a fist bump, and the rest of the cast, including Paul Walter Hauser, who plays Richard Jewell. Check it out. I felt like you raised us, man. Grew up on your movies, and here we are, Richard Jewell, many years in the game.
Yeah, just keep rolling along.
I mean, you have such an amazing body of work. Which still drives you to get out there and still direct and churn out these classics?
I like the story a lot. Thought it was an American tragedy, and I thought that there's the truth out there somewhere. Let's try to find it.
Now, in addition to your work that you've done, people are also falling in love with your son, Scott. I've heard the word heartthrob thrown around a few times. Is there ever a situation that you could see yourself directing and acting in a movie with him as well?
Yeah, maybe someday, yeah. That would be nice.
Got you. Now, you seem like you've done it all. Is there a bucket list of things that you want to do that you haven't got around to yet?
I don't know. There's always something, but I don't know what it is till I get to it. I don't have any, I've been doing it so long. There's no big long-range deal for it.
Now, when you think back to 1996, what were you doing personally back then when all this stuff took place?
What would I do?
What were you doing?
What was I doing?
Like, what was going on in Clint Eastwood's life back in 1996?
96, what's that, 22 years ago?
About 23 years.
Yeah, it's okay. I was having fun, doing the same thing, making movies.
Now, you made us laugh, you made us cry. People love your movies. If there was one line that people always ask you to recite the most, which one is it?
Make my day.
Well, congratulations on another movie that I'm excited to see. I mean, every time you do something, I believe it every lap. So when I'm talking to you, it's like I look into your eyes and I almost see like everything you've ever done. And it's like, whoa, I don't know which version I get to talk to today, but man, you go so deep cover with everything. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I've been very fortunate. I've been in the business for 50 years, so I guess I've been really lucky to do that and to work with great people. It's been a crowning achievement for me to work with Clint.
Now, Ms. Bates, why do you feel like this story needed to be told?
Because I think it's very relevant to our times that a man's life was ruined because people rushed to judgment. They felt the pressure. The FBI had Ruby Ridge and Waco and the Federal Building and the World Trade Center bombing, the first one in '93. They were under tremendous pressure, and they have millions and billions of dollars at stake here in Atlanta. And and I think that the newspaper wanted to be the first one to break the story because it was their Olympics, it was Atlanta, and I think these people, I don't think it was viciousness or any kind of things that evil that they set out to do, but they made a mistake. They made a mistake, and they ruined a man's life. And I think if you've ever talked to Bobby about this, he passed away at 44 10 years later, and she feels like it killed him.
The pressure and the stress, I can only imagine.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, the trailer really sells it, and you really, your heart goes out to that guy because he really felt like, hey, I'm trying to help y'all.
Yeah. This is the thing that really sticks with me is that he was they said, oh, he's overzealous. He's just he's a wannabe cop, and he's just sees stuff that's not there, and vigilant, over vigilant, and hyper vigilant, I guess you'd call it. And he was sick. He had the runs, and he had to go up, and he came back, and suddenly he noticed this Alice back there, and so that very vigilance saved hundreds of lives.
Absolutely.
Hundreds.
Truly a hero.
Truly a hero, and then they turned that vigilance around and said, you're over-vigilant, you're a wannabe cop, you're crazy, you fit the profile of somebody who would create a bomb and then claim credit for being the hero. And it horrifies me. It could happen to any one of us, and it's a sad thing that he had that gift and helped everybody, and then they turned it against him.
Indeed. Well, you have tons of shiny things on your counter, and they just announced the Golden Globe Award nominees yesterday. What would you say to anybody out there that's getting into the world of acting, that may be in a situation where you're going for an award and you're going to the award show? What should you expect? Like, what expectations should you have walking in?
Well, oh, you mean when you actually are nominated for something?
When you're actually nominated and attending, yeah.
Okay, well, comfortable shoes. Ladies, if you're in your 40s, bring a fan, and just have a great old time, and really when you're there, just focus on the fact that you've all done great work and that you're being celebrated and you're happy with what you've done, because take it from me, it ain't always that way.
I hear you. Now, before you go, Ms. Bates, I always am intrigued by, different people's group chats. Did you have a group chat within your text group?
Well, yeah, we have a thread.
Who's the most interesting group chat that you have in your phone right now? Who's in it?
Okay, so it's all of us on our thread from the show, and Ian Gomez, who plays John Hamm's partner in the FBI, is absolutely hysterical. So once everybody goes, where everybody talking trash, or when they're going to go out, and it just things you couldn't get away with nowadays.
So that thread ever got out, somebody's in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want that to get out.
Your secret's safe with us. Thank you for dishing with us. God bless you. Yo, the way you sold this on the trailer, I believed it. When I saw you and everything's okay in real life, I'm like, all right, cool. You did a great job.
Before we dish, I just got to give a shout out. Dish Nation.
Okay, I gotta ask.
Across the nation, Dish Nation.
I love your energy,
saying
bro.
that for some reason.
It
I'm also overcompensating. This press tour has been so tiring and crazy, and I've met so many wonderful people. But it's I'm just so happy the movie's coming out. A lot of work has been put into it. Telling the story of Richard Jewell was a joy, but it's a lot of work and a lot of pressure, and I think when people see it, they're going to be really happy.
Now, on the lighter side of things, this did take place during the 1996 Olympics.
Yeah.
If there was an Olympic sport that you would be good at, what Olympic sport would it be?
Kobayashi, baby, hot dog eating all day, all day.
Do you think you could take the reigning champion of the Nathan's Hot Dog Champion?
No way. I would vomit. It wouldn't be good. If I did a sport of any kind, it'd probably be like a quasi-sport, like professional wrestling, like WWE. So you can just talk on the mic and act angry, but then I'd probably get my butt kicked. Yeah.
I feel like you would be great at those WWE shoots, where you talk crap before the match to rile people up. What would your wrestling name be?
My wrestling name would be I've been asked a question like this before, so I'm going to reuse the answer. My wrestling name would be the Impressionist, and I'd go out and I'd say everybody else's dialogue and lines that they say. So I go up to The Rock, I go up to Dwayne Johnson and go, Dwayne, do you smell what Hauser's cooking, buddy? And I'd throw the eyebrow up and I'd try to just impersonate him, yeah.
I would want your action figure. I think it would be a limited edition.
Don't take it out of the package. Just let me autograph it, sell it on eBay in 20 years. Absolutely.
Well, listen, because of this movie, I feel like your DMs are about to be flooded. Are you single? What's going on?
What up, Dish Nation? We're really dishing here. I am single and ready to mingle.
Are you on any of the dating apps?
What am I on? I'm on Hinge and I'm on Raya. And I've gone on a couple fun dates, but nothing exciting. I'm still waiting for the one that makes you drop everything and put your phone on airplane,
Love that. Well, congratulations on the movie. Before you go, a lot of people have been taking a crack at this line from a classic Clint Eastwood movie. Do you feel lucky, punk? Can I get your take on it?
Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? That's all I got. I got the squint down, though. Got the Clint squint, right? There it is.
The legendary Michael K. Williams is on the red carpet right now. And Richard Jewell is a movie that has a lot of people talking. The trailer's lit. Thinking back to 1996 and what you were doing at that time, what was going on in your life?
I was probably somewhere in Brooklyn getting in trouble. Actually, I got jumped. I got my scars on my face. It was on my 25th birthday. That was somewhere in 93, 94. So 95, I was probably batshit crazy. But more importantly than that, I remember what this story was. I remember how we crucified, Mr. Jewell, and to come to find out, he was innocent. So having now as a grown man being a part of the Innocence Project in New York City, having told the story of the 5 exonerated brothers in New York, and when they see us, you know, being a part of these stories that talk about social injustice, I love this story because it shows us that it's this, although it grossly affects people in my community, it's not just people in my community that are affected by social injustice. Here's this white man that was grossly misaccused, and it's just good to be a part of this and tell a good story and tell the truth, and I'm here to support.
Now, you've been one of the few people I've been able to talk to so far that knows what it's like to go to the award shows and be in the vibe. It's about to be award show season. What do you recommend for people who is their first award show experience? Because they're saying there's going to be a lot of nominees coming out of this.
I don't think I'm in any predicament or any position to be telling Kathy Bates or
well, just in general, not nobody for this movie in particular, but just in general, anybody who might be watching and may make it to that level that you guys have made it to, man, like what would you recommend for their first experience going to an award show?
Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy the moment. That's basically it. Enjoy the ride.
Now, I've always seen you in the acting space, but just imagine if there was like a Actors Olympics with athletics and sports. What was Michael K. Williams good at, or what are you good at? Huh? Like, are you a good runner? Like, would you be good? Like, you know, if there was an Olympic sport, what was your thing?
Oh yeah, you know what I did? I ran track as a youth back in Brooklyn. Yeah, that pretty much was it for me. I got two left feet in regards to ball playing. You know, so yeah, that's right. The kid from the hood cannot play ball. All right, I said it. But I know, so I was always a runner. That was track and field was running.
I got my speed running from stick-up kids in the Bronx. So
I mean, we gotta do, right?
You know what I'm saying? And church shoes at that. So it is what it is.
Yeah, you both.
Last but not least, man, there's a lot of legendary Clint Eastwood movies, and there's one line that a lot of people always gravitate towards. It's the classic, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" Can you give us that one time for the one time? You feel lucky, punk? Everybody's excited about this movie, and you play a police officer in the film.
I do.
What is the last thing you got a ticket for?
The last thing I got a ticket for?
Yeah.
Let's see, passing a red light downtown Atlanta, actually not too far away from here, to be honest.
So you're an Atlanta native?
I am.
So when this happened in 1996, what was going on in your life?
Oh, man, I was, let's see, we were in high school. No, college, man. Wait, yeah, college. I'm sorry, my bad. So it was summertime. My family and we had just, literally, we saw the opening ceremonies, and then we went to Italy for vacation, coincidentally enough. Our family lives there. We're watching the news. CNN comes on. Boom, the bombing goes off. And that was like that. And for like literally from that moment on, we were glued. We were there on vacation, but we were glued sitting there watching all this unfold in front of us.
Now, have you got a chance to see it in advance?
I did.
Okay, so if you was to describe this film in 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
Oh, wow. Moving, honest, and I'd say golden.
Love it. Now, looking at the marquee, a lot of dope names. Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, John Hannum, Olivia, wow, the legendary Clint Eastwood.
Unreal.
If you was to think back about your childhood, in all the Clint Eastwood movies that you maybe had the chance to consume, what was your favorite?
Oh, my God. I can tell you right now, Fistful of Dollars, right there.
That's the dope one, too.
Right there. Spaghetti Westerns, I know all of them there, man. The good, bad, the ugly, all of them I'm fans of.
So we've been having a line battle between some of the actors. I've got a few You Feel Lucky punks from people. Can I get your take, Franco, on his classic line? You feel lucky, punk? Oh, I like the gravatas to it. This movie takes place in 1996. When you think back, what was happening in your life around that time? What can you think of?
Well, I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. So when the Atlanta Olympics went down, we were all talking about going down. You know, I was right out of college. So it was, let's go to Atlanta, let's go to the Olympics. Then the bombing happened. And so it was close enough to home that, you know, it impacted me at that point. So I think it's awesome that they shot it here, you know, just to tie it together. I think it's great.
Now, why do you think it's important for people to see this movie and learn the story about Richard Jewell?
I just think it's one of the tragic stories. You know, he's a very tragic figure. You know, and that makes it interesting viewing just by itself. You know, just to explore that and just see the intricacies of that and how that went down. And I'm eager to see it. I'm eager to see it as well.
Now, in this movie, you play an FBI agent. If there was something that you could solve in real life, if you were an FBI agent, what would it be?
Ha 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 ha! You're asking me that today?
Yeah.
The day of the hearing?
I'm just saying, everybody has their own thing, right?
So I'd do that. I would solve all that's going down up in the White House. That would be great.
Cool, and like your posture and your poise is amazing, but you're in this movie with a whole bunch of like legendary A-listers. Who are you most excited about? Like when you read like, oh, they're involved? Who excited you the most?
I'm really eager to meet Kathy Bates and Sam Rockwell. I think his work is bombing. I love his work, and I'm eager to meet him. I didn't work with him. I worked with John Hamm in the film, and John's a great guy. And this is my second film with Clint. I worked on Sully as well. So, it's good working with the boss again.
Indeed. And my man Clint Eastwood has a very solid catalog of movies. If you was to think back to your all-time favorite Clint Eastwood movie, which one you go to?
Outlaw Josie Wales.
Ooh, classic.
Man, I like cowboy movies, it's so good. When he was a cowboy, are you kidding me? And then the Dirty Harry movies. And he's done, there's a bunch of them that were good,
Could you give us your favorite line from any classic Clint Eastwood movie?
Man, I can't. You got me right now, man. I'm trying to think of my favorite. I don't have a favorite line.
So many.
Yeah, I really don't have a favorite line. Film Lucky, Punk. That's probably the best one.
I think we should recast you for the sequel, man.
Yeah,
well, God bless you, Robin, man. Good luck with the movie, and thanks for stopping by. Peace and love, baby. All right. Billy Slaughter.
Hi there.
Welcome to Dish Nation.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off by saying you have the coolest name of all time.
Thank you. It's my real name.
And that's when it's the best. Like when you don't have to make up no pseudonym or nothing like that. You're just rocking with it.
No, but then people hear the name and they assume like some grand action hero is going to, come down the carpet, and then it's just me.
You slaughter them with intellect. Love it.
I like it.
So the movie Richard Jewell, a lot of people are excited about this film. Taking us back to 1996, you seem to be very young. What were you doing in 1996 when this was going on?
I was actually aware of this. I mean, I was a teenager in the 90s, but, certainly this was, I love the Olympics, and so I was tuning in, and so I saw the good as well as the bad in the news. And I mean, like a lot of these social events, it helped me grow up faster, just kind of makes you more aware of the world we live in, for better or worse. But, we appreciate more the things around us.
And why do you feel like it's important for people to see this movie now?
I think it's super important now because it's a film that definitely explores the gray area, and there's so much talking out there, so much spin, and like the old adage about three sides to every story, yours, mine, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I think that's kind of what this comes down to. It's just a quest for the truth.
And the cool part about the trailer is like watching it, you have no idea if he did it or not if you didn't really look it up and find out the rest of the story. I like to be surprised. So how do you play into all this?
I play Tim Barker, who's the AT&T media rep in the film. Of course, AT&T was one of the big sponsors of the Olympics. So all of my stuff is with Jewell, is with Paul, which was such a great honor working with him. I think he's I think he's got the breakout performance of the year in this. So I can't wait for audiences to see it.
I can't wait to see it myself. Now, Clint Eastwood, Kathy Bates, Olivia Wilde, John Hamm. It's like the Avengers of dope actors. Like a bunch of people like put together. If you had to think back on a classic Clint Eastwood movie, what is your favorite, and what is your favorite line from a Clint Eastwood movie?
Oh, all right. So favorite movie, Unforgiven, for sure. I can't even think of there were so many good ones. Clint, few people can sort of deliver the one-liner like Clint Eastwood can.
He's mastered the art.
Yeah, he's mastered all the arts. That's why we're here tonight.
So many people are excited about this movie. If you could explain it in 3 words, what words would you use to explain it?
Hopefully the real truth, because unfortunately, the man was falsely accused and went through a torturous life experience as a result. And hopefully this movie helps people see what really, truly did happen.
Do you still get an excited, bubbly feeling when you see your husband on the big screen doing stuff?
Sure. Yes, absolutely I do. I get more of an excited, bubbly feeling when I hear the garage door come up and he's coming home.
Exactly. Long days. place.
I just like him working, so that always excites me. I like I booked the job. That gives me the bubbly, excited feeling. But seeing him on the big screen, I mean, it's wonderful. I've seen him be killed and died quite a few times, so I'm just glad that hasn't really happened and it's only pretend.
It's practice.
It's,
not practice, but like, well, not practice, but you work. So let's rewind back to 1996. I mean, what was going on in your life personally around that time when these events took place?
So we had just moved back from L.A. I'm from here. I was born and raised here, and we had moved back here, or I had moved back here with him. And we had taken our daughters to the Olympics. It was exciting. We had gone to the Olympics in Los Angeles.
We'd been there just a couple days before.
Yeah, we were down there right
in Centennial Park. Yeah.
So it was.
It was. I mean, we were thrilled. We had just moved back here, and it was really cool to be able to take our kids down there, and we had tickets for a couple of events, and but then of course after this happened, the whole attitude kind of changed because everybody got really afraid, and security got heightened, and everybody was a little more on edge instead of just truly enjoying the event that very few cities get to experience. So yeah, it was an interesting
the beginning of security and things changing as a whole. It really opened everybody's eyes as to we just got to be careful. It's a different world. And then after 9/11, it certainly drastically changed.
Now this whole event, completely dominated the whole aspect of the Olympics. But let's just say, if you could compete in any Olympic sport, which sport do you think you would be great at, Mike?
Good question.
What I would be great at?
Yeah, some people have their thing.
Probably your job at the Olympics I'd be pretty good at.
Commentating.
The rest of it, I don't know, man. I mean, I threw the shot in high school for a couple of seasons. But other than that, I was never very fast, and I couldn't jump very high. But I don't know. I don't know that I'd be really good at much of any of it.
People who are great at the shot put are now great at the trash throw on trash day when you're throwing it into the...
Really good.
She says I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. Last but not least, I mean, to say that there are popular people in this movie is an understatement. I mean, this cast is live. If you was to think back on your favorite Clint Eastwood movie of all time and a line from a movie, which one would you go with?
Wow.
God. Yeah, it's almost like asking her, what's your favorite child?
Wow.
I mean...
I have a favorite.
I guess I'd probably have to go with Unforgiven.
You're the second one today that said that.
Yeah. It was just so raw and such an amazing ensemble of actors. Josie Wales was pretty great.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Dirty Harry, but that's kind of obvious. The one with the orangutan.
Any Which Way But Loose?
Which Way But Loose.
Let's rewind back to your life in 1996. What were you doing back then?
In 1996, I was a little kid living here in Atlanta, Georgia. And a couple nights before the Olympic Park bombing, I was at Centennial Olympic Park, running through fountains, enjoying time with my family. And so today, as an actor, you can only imagine, so important for me to go back to this story and reflect on it. But I was there.
And I think that brings it more close to home and makes it super personal, right?
It really does. I actually am a former reporter myself, now playing a reporter in this movie. So I think it's always important as journalists for us to reflect on the way in which we go about covering a story.
It's life actually imitating art this time around, because you lived it and you did.
You could say that, but what I will say is, for any little kid who's dreamt about, working in film, the opportunity to work with Clint Eastwood is just something dreams are made of. So I feel so fortunate to have.
I'm actually excited for you because when you read the lineup, it's Clint Eastwood, it's Olivia Wilde, it's Kathy Bates. John Hamm.
Yes, the best of the best.
Now, the fact that you was working with John Hamm, did it make your husband nervous?
Ben, did it make you nervous?
No comment there.
I didn't work with John directly. I did see him off in the distance at one point. But
you just need to be in striking range. I heard the dude was very suave.
Let me tell you, this group was the best of the best. The level of professionalism. Again, this is just the stuff dreams are made of.
Okay, now check this out. The cast is lit, but Clint Eastwood is a legend. If you had to think back to your favorite Clint Eastwood movie of all time, which one would it be?
The Mule.
Really? That's the last joint he did before this one?
I have to say, just because of the pacing, because you are forced, as someone who is watching that film, to really stop and take a moment and pay attention. I feel like we're living in such a fast-paced world. I hope that when people go to see this movie and when you are going to the theater to see other films this holiday season, put your phone down. Take a minute. Listen to that message on the screen when it says, don't turn on the bright screen. I really think it's important that we slow down, and I think the way that Clint Eastwood makes his films, he's asking us to do that a bit.
Indeed, and like I can't wait to see everybody go on the ride. Now, before we go, a lot of people have had a hard time pulling this off. Can you give me a "Do you feel lucky, punk" to the camera?
Do you feel lucky, punk?
You guys wrote the book that this movie is based on.
Right.
A lot of times people say the book is always better than the movie. How do you rank this one?
We think the movie is awesome, and we think the book is pretty awesome too.
Got you. Now, when you were writing this, did you picture like this all-star lineup to play the people in the book?
You know, this is a dream, right? To be able to have a book that Clint Eastwood's excited about, and then to add in John Hamm, Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates, Paul Hauser, Olivia Wilde, that's a fantasy for any writer. So, of course, we didn't dream of it, but sure are dreaming about it now.
No doubt. And thank y'all so much for taking this step to writing the book, right? I mean, because we live in a world where you have the internet, you can look up everything and find out all the answers you want to know online. What made you decide it was important for this man's story to be told?
Well, each of us thought it was important. I was the U.S. attorney. I wrote Richard Jewell's clearance letter, so I thought way back it was a good story, but I only knew half of it. I knew a lot less. And then Kevin and I got together.
Yeah, I was running the Wall Street Journal's Southeast News operation, and I always wondered how this went so horribly wrong. That a man who is a true unsung hero is instead seen as being a former suspect for the rest of his life. And, you know.
Yeah. And for the record, Richard Jewell is a hero.
Indeed, indeed, man. Thank y'all so much for telling y'all story. Before you go,
yes.
Clint Eastwood has a lot of classics under his belt. If you had to pick one favorite Clint Eastwood movie, which one would you go with?
Richard Jewell.
Well played. Well, very attorney of you. Thank you so much, man.
Dish Nation.